Hey guys, and welcome to the Chic Soul YouTube channel. My name is Savannah, and today I'm going to be showing you guys a full-on hair and makeup tutorial for a photo ready look. I'm going to be breaking down my entire makeup routine as well as how I did my hair. So if you guys are interested, just be sure to stay tuned and keep on watching. Alright, so we're just gonna hop on into this makeup tutorial. So I thought that I would first off just kind of explain the kind of look that I'm gonna be doing for today's video. So typically I would not do this bold of a look as far as like an everyday, but I am kind of doing this more so for a shoot look. So I'm gonna do a little bit more dramatic on the eyes just because I feel like you kind of need to amplify everything, because in these really bright lights sometimes things get washed out or it doesn't look the same way that it does in person. So you do want to just kind of like do a little bit more whenever you're doing a shoot or any kind of picture taking. I just personally like to do that, and I feel like it just kind of shows up a little bit better on pictures, film, whatever you're working with. So this is kind of like my everyday if I was going to be doing like a shoot. The only area that this kind of changes for me is as far as day-to-day. I do the exact same kind of like skin routine, but I only do mascara and lashes for my day-to-day. So that's the only kind of thing different. I just like add more eyeshadow, but that's kind of like how I do it. So yeah. But I started off using the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I've been using that because it has been so hot lately, and I just kind of personally prefer something that is gonna like be a little bit more sticky and it's gonna last a little bit longer. And then I'm gonna use the Estee Lauder Double Wear. This was like a big thing on YouTube in like 2014. I feel like it's a really good, more of a full coverage foundation. That's something that I personally prefer. So that is just kind of like how I start to do my skin routine. But yeah, I figured that I would go ahead and just like start talking a little bit about modeling for Chic Soul and how that kind of started out for me. So I actually have a separate YouTube channel that I started taking seriously probably in September of 2019, and then that is kind of I did have a video blow up, and I had somebody from Chic Soul message me and be like, hey, we would love to start working with you, and I was super excited about it because I have shopped with Chic Soul for years before then and really liked their stuff. So I was very excited whenever they decided to reach out. And so since then I have been doing YouTube videos for them. And then I believe it was in September of 2020, they asked me if I would like to start shooting with them, which was probably like the biggest offer that I had ever had at that point, and I was super pumped about it. And modeling is something that I've always wanted to do, but I didn't really think that it was in the cards for me, just because, I don't know, plus size modeling, curve modeling, whatever you want to call it, it's not the easiest thing to get into, and it's kind of hard if you don't know, like if you don't have connections otherwise, it's a little hard to kind of start off. But I was super thankful that I was able to get in with them. And then the first time that I ever came was in January of 2021. So I haven't even been modeling for Chic Soul for even a year. But each time it's always been super fun. I had my first shoot in January, like I said, and then I did our swim shoot, which was such a dream come true in April. It was seriously such a fun day. We got to do all swim content, which was my first swim shoot ever. I've had a lot of firsts with Chic Soul, which is something that I think is really special, and I really do love working with them. The creative outlets that we like, everybody has, and we all just kind of come together as a team and genuinely make the best content ever, and I love it so much. It's such an awesome space and I really enjoy it. So that is a little kind of backstory as to how I started modeling. So I've only been modeling in general for about 8 months. So this is like my I'd say like probably like my 5th time maybe being here. I'm not quite sure, but I love coming here so much. I really enjoy getting to create really awesome content and kind of sticking with trends and whatnot, and kind of going outside the box and trying new things. So that is personally my little backstory with Chic Soul. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and move on to concealer. I'm using the e.l.f. This is the Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is probably one of my favorites. It's a really good, affordable concealer that I personally really like. But since I told you guys all of the little fun facts as far as Chic Soul related, I figured that I would tell you guys 5 fun facts about me. So I always struggle with this in school. I'm like, I don't know what's interesting about me, but I'm just gonna come up with them as we go. So here we go. I've always really liked kind of more creative things, especially like in school. I was not really like the smartest kid whenever it came to like doing really good on tests and stuff. But I've always kind of like had the desire to create whenever it comes to just about anything. Like I've always been curious about YouTube, like since I started watching it pretty much in 6th grade. So I feel like I've been pretty creative as far as like wanting to do something like that since I was a kid. So I feel like I kind of like have that niche and like the desire to create and do fun things, whether that's like YouTube, TikToks, doing fun Instagram pictures, literally just for the fun of it. I really enjoy doing stuff like that. Another thing is that I think I honestly would really like to do a photography business on the side. I think that that is just really cool. I have been able to help out my friends as far as like taking pictures because through modeling you do learn quite a few things about posing and things not to do, things to do. And anytime I help my friends take pictures, they're like, I need you to do this like all the time. Like if it wasn't for you, I would not have any good pictures of myself, which I think is funny. But that is personally something that I really enjoy, is like taking pictures for myself, like even like with a tripod and like in a random location that I thought was cool, or even just for my friends. I really do enjoy it, and I feel like I know what to like the tips to give people for the photo that they want. So that is something that I think that I would possibly be doing if I wasn't doing this right now. So that is tip number 2, or like fun fact about me. And then number 3, this is really silly, but I think that I'm good at like impersonations as far as like voice stuff. I don't know. Like I said, with the creative aspect of me, I've loved like memorizing movies and stuff like that, and like thinking of funny things to say. My entire friends and family quote National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation literally year round. I could probably quote the movie from like start to finish. It's just such a hilarious movie, and I'm so excited for Christmas to come around because that means that I can start watching it again. We normally start watching it probably around November. But I can probably quote that movie back and forth, and I think that I can do good voice impersonations. That's just a thought, and that's what I've been told. So Aunt Bethany is hands down my favorite character ever. I personally very much relate to her, even though she's like an 80-something-year-old woman. And we were flying out of Denver not too long ago for the Colorado shoot, and the first thing I thought of is this the airport clock? Like that is where my brain goes to every time I see an airport or something like that. And then they walk into the house and they're all greeting each other for Christmas, and she's like, is Rusty still in the Navy? Like everybody in my family like always jokes about that. So that is just like one little random thing, but I feel like I am personally Aunt Bethany. I'm gonna be her whenever I'm like 80 years old, and I love that. I love looking forward to that. Another one I can do is Timon and Pumbaa whenever they are singing When He Was a Young Warthog. When I was a young warthog. So me and my friends always joke and say that kind of stuff. So yeah, you don't have a boring moment with me whenever it comes to like cracking jokes or doing voice impersonations. That's just kind of something that I typically do if I feel comfortable around you. So there you go. Since we've done my impersonations, all that kind of stuff, figured that I could do a, what's it called? Like talking about my favorite foods, because I'm a big foodie. I've been trying to eat better, but that's something that I don't know, I just always love food. I love trying new recipes and doing fun different things like that. So probably my all-time favorite like category of food is either like Italian or Mexican food. I love pasta. That's probably like my biggest thing. I will try probably any kind of pasta personally. That is a big favorite of mine. Whenever we go on vacation, there's this one restaurant that we go to, and I literally get the exact same thing every single time, and it's called the Red Seafood Pasta. It's like literally the most basic thing ever, but it is so good, and I get it every single time. I always commit to it. So I like it whenever it's just like traditional Italian too. I love pizza, wings, like all the not good things for you, but it's okay. But I do like all that kind of stuff. And then I've been trying to do like more healthier food options as well. And so here lately, I've been really liking smoothies for breakfast. And it's not just any smoothie. I feel like I've kind of crafted the art of making a good smoothie and really liking it. And it's not like, it's really satisfying. And it honestly kind of tastes like ice cream the way I do it. So but obviously it's a lot healthier for you. But I recommend like freezing your bananas, and that is such a big game changer because it kind of gets like a thicker consistency, which I personally like for my smoothies. Really random fact. I'm just like telling you like almost like what I eat in a day, but it's okay. But I really like doing that for breakfast in the morning. And then I'll do the frozen bananas, peanut butter, and spinach, which don't like block out whenever you hear spinach because you're getting your greens in and you genuinely don't taste it. So that is a little way that I like to kind of like make my smoothies, and it is delicious. Add peanut butter in it, so you get like the banana peanut butter taste, and it honestly tastes just like a milkshake, I'm not gonna lie, and it's really filling. So that is kind of a healthier, you could do it as dessert, you could do it as breakfast, kind of whatever you like. If I do a different breakfast, then if I am like hungry midday, then I'll do that for like either a snack or dessert. So that's just like a little tip here and there. My eyebrows are kind of a process whenever I do them. I did microblading 2 years ago, but I haven't gotten them touched up in forever. So personally what I like to do is I just fill them in with an eyebrow pencil. This one is really good. It's the NYX microbrow pencil, and I just like to fill them in. I like to follow the natural shape pretty much. And then also I like to take the Anastasia clear brow gel. This is hands down my favorite. I've used this for years, and it's just really, really good. And then I like to use a darker brow gel from like the outer part of my brows. And this is funny because my natural hairs, like for my brows, they get really light the more that I'm out in the sun in the summertime. So I will tint them myself, and I actually use men's beard dye. So that's a little fun fact. If you feel like your eyebrows are getting too light in the summertime, I like to do that because it's really affordable. You could do it like every 1 to 2 weeks as needed kind of thing. And I personally really like how it turns out. So this is like pretty much all that I do for my brows as far as like a day-to-day. So next I'm gonna go in with some bronzer. This is the Hoola by Benefit. This is probably one of my favorite bronzers. I really, really like it. I feel like it's a good color for me personally whenever I'm tan, whenever I'm not tan. I'm currently self-tan right now. So I feel like it's a pretty good color anytime that I try and use it. And yeah, this is something that I can get a little heavy-handed with, but I just personally really like how it looks whenever you have a lot of bronzer on. But I normally like go back in and try and blend it out too. I'm kind of heavy with blush and bronzer, but it's okay. It's fine. I personally like how it looks, but like in the end, it all comes together. So that's personally kind of how I like to do it. This is something that I've noticed over the past few years because I pretty much learned how to do my makeup from YouTube, not gonna lie, and also hair. That is something that I really enjoy learning how to do. I do a lot of my friends' hair and makeup. I have 2 bridal makeups that I have to do in October, and that's something that I really like to do on the side. Like I said, I have a lot of different creative outlets that I enjoy, so makeup is also one of them, so that is something that I really like to do as well. But I've noticed over the years how trends really play up with how you do your makeup, and I think that that's really interesting. I know that I've personally learned a lot of things on TikTok of like, oh, this looks better for a more round face shape, which is what I have. And other than like contouring my nose, I don't really contour anything else just because I feel like bronzer pretty much does the same. I feel like not too many people are contouring now since we are in the era of 2021. I feel like we're all just kind of, I don't know, especially after last year whenever nobody really was looking cute. We're all just like trying to do like what we need to do, but like save a lot of time. So that's personally what I like to do as well, is just do a lot of bronzer. And then I overly contour my nose, but then I just like to go back in and just blend it out, and it looks completely natural. So you can kind of like do it quickly like that, and that's a little tip that I've learned personally. And next up for blush, I am a little excessive whenever it comes to blush. I have to put it on twice, and for this reason, because my skin is naturally pretty oily. So I will apply it once, and then because, like I said, my skin is pretty oily and it likes to literally eat makeup, it'll be gone in like a few minutes. I'm not kidding. So I will kind of have to reapply it here in a little bit. So it looks really heavy at first, but like once I get done with my makeup, it looks completely normal. It's just kind of what I have to do as far as like making sure that it stays looking nice all day pretty much. So it looks crazy right now, but in like 5 minutes it's gonna fade and I'll put it on again. So little fun fact, don't feel weird if you have to like over apply blush too, because I definitely have to, and it's just kind of part of my routine now. I'm pretty used to it. So that's a little life hack that I've learned with that. I wanted to ask, while I'm like doing my highlight, I feel like a lot of people have been skipping out on highlight, which I personally really like. I think it looks really good on the skin, and some people are probably still using it. A lot of people are like more into cream products, which I definitely do like if I'm going for like a more minimal look. But comment down below, do you guys still like highlighter? Do you still use it? And if you do you use more like creams or powders? I feel like powders are more common for like the fall and winter for some reason, and then in the summertime you want to go like more light and whatnot. So that is a little question that I have, but I always have to put some in my inner corners just because I feel like it makes a really big difference. And I do have kind of small eyes. I have hooded eyes, so I like to do everything that I can to kind of brighten my eyes up a little bit. So that is a little hack for you if you have like smaller eyes, a little way that you can do it. But I always like to highlight my nose, and I always do it with like a more precise brush just because I feel like it keeps your nose contoured there. But if you like put it on with this like big brush, it's just gonna emphasize everything you just contoured. So that's kind of a little trick that I've learned as well too. There's plenty of tricks and stuff that I've learned over the years, but yeah, this is as far as pretty much with my skin. I'm going to do a little bit of setting spray really fast. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Spray and Set, and I'm just gonna spray this really fast. And I'm just gonna fan it out a little bit, let it dry. It looks a little scary whenever you first spray it because your face looks wet, but it's actually like blending all your powders and everything in together. So that's kind of a little fun fact. And then if you fan it, it's supposed to also help it last a little bit longer as well. So next up, I'm gonna start on my eyes. So I'm gonna be using this ColourPop Nude Mood palette. This is probably one of my favorites, and it's really good, affordable. If you're looking for a really good neutral palette, I do recommend something like this. It's really good colors, very appropriate for fall as well. Like, it literally has everything that you're probably gonna need in here. I do have this other palette right here. This is the Viseart, and it's similar like tones and everything like that, but I just kind of like to have it on the side because there are a couple darker colors in there that I like to use. So this is like the easiest eye look that I pretty much do, is I like to take a light brown and a medium brown on a really big fluffy brush, and I just like to pick both of those up, tap off the excess. And since I did set my eyelids with powder earlier, that is like kind of my eye primer with a concealer. So I just like to mainly start it on the outer corner and just kind of fluff it out a little bit. And personally, for my eye shape, I kind of like to pull it out a little bit just because it kind of helps elongate my eyes a little bit. Like I said, I have small eyes, so these are just like some little tricks that I've learned along the ways. But I like to mainly focus it on the like the outer half of my eye, and then the less product that I have, I just kind of like to fluff it in. And then, like I said, pull it out a little bit as well. And you can like see how it kind of like fans out a little bit. I just think that it looks good like that personally. And then next up, I like to just take a little bit of a smaller brush, but still fluffy. And then I like to go in with this is the darkest brown in the palette, and I just like to pick that up just a little bit. And I like to make sure I tap off the excess, and I mainly focus this on the outer corner just because I like to give a little bit more definition. And and just like slowly start to bring it in. But I like want to stop it, like say like your pupil is like in the middle of your eye, I want to keep it from here out, just because like I said, I have small eyes. I want to keep the darkness kind of like as far away as from like the inner corner as possible, because then that's bringing in too much dark and it can really close your eye up really fast, which if you're wanting to do like a really smoky look, that is kind of how you can do that. But for me personally, as far as like an everyday, I just personally like to keep it more simple, and so I'm just like focusing on blending it out a little bit better. And you want to put that transition color down because this is like helping you blend everything that you currently have on your eye. And then I just go back in with the same fluffy brush that I first used and just kind of go over everything and make sure that it's looking blended. Alright, and then next up, here lately I've been liking to kind of keep my inner corners, or like the first half of my eye, pretty bright. So I'm gonna take this, it's kind of like a white cream color. I'm just gonna pick it up with my finger a little bit, and because it is a really pretty, like a bright white color, I just like to take a little bit and just kind of pat it out. And you can see like reinforcing the lighter, it really makes a big difference on your eyes. So that is something that I like to do personally. And I'm just gonna do the exact same thing on this eye. And that really just kind of like helps to keep my eyes look a little bit more open. And it's an all matte look, so that is something, an easy way to keep it nice and simple as well. And then for liner, I actually like to do a powder liner. So I'm gonna pick up the darkest color in the Viseart palette. It's like a dark chocolate brown. And I'm gonna take this, and I kind of have to get close with this, but I'm gonna look down so you can still see. I like to start on the like outer corner of my eye and bring it in just a tiny bit and kind of like diffuse it while I do that as well. And then I have been liking to do a little bit of a baby wing with this. So I will start from my outer corner, and this is an angled brush, and you just kind of make a little line with it. So it's really subtle, and it's a lot easier than doing a traditional wing liner with like one of the felt markers and all that kind of stuff. So that is like a subtle way to do a wing, but you can definitely tell it like helps lift and elongate my eye. So that's a little hack there. If you have smaller eyes and you're wanting to help kind of lift and define your eyes, I personally really like doing that. All right, so I now have both of my wings done. This one is a little bit wonky. This is always my better eye. I feel like most people tend to have like, oh gosh, okay, we're doing magic tricks over here, don't mind me. But I feel like I always have one eye that is just easier to do. This is the eye for me. This one always gives me a little bit more trouble. But now I'm gonna do my lower lash line. I'm gonna do those lighter two colors that I first used, and I just like to take that on my lower lash line a little bit. And I just like to again keep it like mainly on the outer half of my eye, just because I like to, like I said, I like to keep things more open, so I just like to focus that a little bit more there. And that is just like a little tip that I have for you. And then so now I'm pretty much ready for mascara and lashes. So this is a good like little time sensitive step, because lashes sometimes can take a while. So these are my favorite lashes. I already had them trimmed up because I wore them yesterday. These are the Ardell Naked Lashes in the style number 420. And I really do like these. I feel like they are fairly natural lashes. I personally can't really wear super heavy lashes just because, like I said, I have hooded eyes and my eyes are smaller. So I just think that it looks better on me to do a smaller lash, and I do have them cut already because, like I said, I did wear them yesterday. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the glue on them. I like to use the Duo Lash Adhesive just because, and it's like the little brush applicator. I feel like it's just a lot easier than doing the little tube just because I have a hard time like controlling that. So I'm gonna let this lash glue get a little tacky while I put on my mascara. So that is a little way I like to multitask and just save a little bit of time, because you want to let this dry for a while rather than just like putting the glue on and then immediately applying them, because they will not stick. The glue has to get tacky before you can do that. So that is a little life hack and something that I've learned the hard way, because your lashes are not going to want to stick. So I'm going to curl my lashes really fast and apply mascara. Personally, I feel like I always have to curl my lashes. I just think it looks a lot better, and it's just a little bit easier to apply lashes as well. So the mascara I like to use is the L'Oreal Voluminous Superstar X Fiber mascara, and I mainly like to use, it's double-ended, so I mainly like to use number 1 and just coat my lashes. I don't spend a ton of time putting on mascara because I do put on lashes, like I said, so I'm gonna slap this on really fast. And I know that there are some people that don't like to put mascara on their lower lashes, but I just feel like it doesn't look right if I don't, so I always like to put some on my lower lashes as well. And I always have to make a silly face. I feel like nobody can put mascara on without opening up their mouth, so that's a little fun fact, but yeah, it's a little struggle to do that. And also, don't worry if you get any mascara or anything on your eyelid. I definitely got some right in here and over there, but I will show you in a second how you can fix that really quick, and it's really easy. You just need to let it dry. Don't try and fix it, don't try and touch it, don't do anything to it until it's dry, and then I'm gonna show you a way to just fix it really fast. So since my lashes are pretty much ready, I'm gonna have to like really get in this mirror because I'm gonna have to see up close, but yeah, I'm gonna put them on really fast, and I mainly focus on like the outer third of my eye, or the outer like 2/3 of my eye, just because like I said, if I have a really heavy lash in here, it just like covers over my eye and it just closes it really fast. So I do like to cut them a little bit shorter, and I'm going to close my eye and set the lashes on top. And yeah, it's really hard to talk and do this, so and since I have the lashes on, I just like to squeeze them together. Please be careful if you're not used to doing this. Like, use like a lash applicator. You don't have to use tweezers. I'm gonna use tweezers because that's what I'm used to, but if you do, make sure they're not like the super sharp ones, because we don't need to poke any eyes out, okay? That's not what we're here to do. We're here to put on lashes. We don't need to lose an eyeball while we do that. So that is the way that I personally like to do it, and you can see like the difference that lashes make. It's one of my favorite things ever, so same thing. Okay, and I think they are on and good to go. So since, like I said, whenever you get mascara on your eyelid or something, all you need to do is take a little spoolie. I'm just gonna take the one from my brow pencil. You're gonna kind of want to like tilt your head down so you can see, and just like kind of lightly scratch over wherever you got mascara, and it will literally flake right off. Little fun fact, that will really help out, because I can't tell you how many times that I have put mascara on, got it all over my eyelid, and then you're like, what am I supposed to do? And that is a little way that I like to kind of do that. And last but not least is lips. So I'm going to just use this little makeup wipe, and I'm gonna take the whatever foundation I have left on my lips, and then I like to start off with lip liner. I feel like this is a really big thing for me because I do have kind of like smaller lips, and I do like to overline them. So this is the Revlon Color Stay lip liner in the color Nude, and I like to start on my Cupid's bow, and I like to just kind of round it out a little bit. And then so I have the little outline there. And then from there, I like to take a little bit of this Becca lipstick in the shade Sugar. And I like to use this to kind of blend my lip liner in. And just kind of like blend it all together. and I like to kind of take my finger and blend it in as well. And then because typically whenever you apply this, sometimes it's a little bit hard to kind of get a crisp line. So what I like to do is take a little bit of concealer that I used. I'm gonna grab this darker color. And I like to take a little brush, get some right here, and just go around the sides and clean it up. And you can definitely see a big difference, like with it cleaned up, it just looks a little bit more precise whenever you do that. And same thing on the top. So that is a little hack as far as if you like went too far out on the lines or something like that. That is a little way to fix it. And then last but not least, I'm gonna do one more spray of setting spray and we will be all done. So the makeup is now all done. I'm really happy with how it turned out. So this is typically, like I said, what I do for a shoot. And next up, we are going to move on to the hair. So I did have my hair curled from yesterday's shoot. So today I'm pretty much just going to be touching it up. I also have some like curly pieces in the front for my shower. So this is just going to kind of be like how I touch up my curls, and it's also showing you how I curl my hair. And I do it with a straightener, which is a little bit different. I know some people that's kind of like different for them. So I'm going to be showing you guys that in today's tutorial. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so now we are going to move on to the hair. So I have gotten a ton of questions as far as my hair. Is it real? Is it naturally curly? All this kind of stuff. Yes, my hair is real. I don't have extensions or anything. And yes, my hair is naturally curly. I do typically curl it for shoots, but that's just kind of how I do it. And then I'm gonna take my clip out because fun fact, Whitney was like freaking out about this the other day because I keep a clip in the back of my ponytail because it just looks sad now and I like to add more volume. So that's kind of how I like to do that. But while my hair straightener is warming up, I thought I would talk a little bit about my hair. So like I said, this is all my natural hair. I don't have extensions or anything like that. I just got it colored not too long ago, so that is fun. I do typically like add blonde highlights in. That's all that I ask for whenever I get color. And then I always get asked how long it takes for me to curl my hair, which it honestly takes about 25 minutes from like whenever it's naturally curly to curled. So I always like to start out by brushing it out. And if you're not doing this, you need to start whenever you go to brush your hair, I don't care how long or short it is, you want to start from the bottom and slowly work your way up, because if you start at the top and you just like yank out all your knots and stuff, it is going to pull so much more hair out than you needed to. So that is just a little hack that I've learned with having longer hair. My hair has not always been this long. This is probably the longest I've ever had my hair, but I really like it. It is pretty hot in the summertime. That is the only con. It's my little heater, so whenever I put my hair up, it's like immediately 10 degrees cooler. So that is just kind of how it is for me personally. But yeah, it is a little bit curly around the front because my shower last night. So I now have my straightener plugged in. So I'm going to section this off from the back to the front. So I have two big pieces, and the side that I'm not working on, which is this side right now, I'm going to clip just so that I keep it separate. And this is how I section it once my hair is already curled, but I'm just like touching up pieces. So I'm going to take my straightener. This is like a big thing for some people. They like don't understand how I curl my hair with the straightener. And the thing is that it's really easy. I've been doing this since middle school, so this is a little hack. So I'm gonna start from the back and work my way forward. I'm gonna take my straightener and I'm going to kind of hold it like this, clamp it down, twist it, and you just wanna pull it down a little bit. And I personally like to leave a little bit of the ends out. I like how it looks. And then take it and twist it a little bit. And that is a curl. So I'm gonna show you guys again. And I literally just do this all over to my entire head. And it's pretty straightforward, but I'm gonna show you guys again. So this is how you would typically hold it. You're gonna take your wrist and flip it like this. So you're gonna clamp, twist, and pull it down. And the slower that you go as far as pulling through the hair, the curlier it will be, and the faster you go, the more wavy it will be. So that's also a little hack. Once again, twist it, and you can see that I did leave the ends out, so it is more straight there, but that is a curl. So this is how I always curl my hair for shoots, and like whenever I just decided to curl it in general. So that is pretty much straightforward, and we're just gonna go ahead and speed through this process, and I will show you guys the end result. Alright, so I have just finished curling my hair, and this is the final product, except I just have to brush it out because I just personally prefer how it looks. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's video and had a lot of little tips and tricks that you learned along the way. I hope it was all helpful. These are all just kind of things that I've learned over time, but I really hope that you guys enjoyed, and if you guys have not yet, please be sure to like this video and also subscribe to the Chic Soul YouTube channel. We post new videos every Thursday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. And congratulations, you've made it this far, and you have won a 15% off coupon code. It is YouTube15, and that will save you 15% off on the Chic Soul website. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.